Hey, so today I want to talk about space. Area around you. Because when it comes time that you need time to heal, a lot of times you need to be able to have the space and time to do that. Sometimes that's hard. I mean, we have jobs, we have homes, some people live in apartments, duplexes, condos, even your house. You have neighbors. We're not all blessed to have a lot of land, right? Space. But it's hard because you have to create that area for yourself. And a lot of times you're going to find yourself where? In your room. I think the Beach Boys wrote a song about that. In my room. But I was spending time yesterday and thought it's time to start recharging. I have felt drained for so long, and there's things that I haven't been doing that I used to do religiously, spiritually. But I don't know, life happened. Between my son leaving, the holidays happening, and I sit here and tell myself that, and then I'm like, that's an excuse at this point because that's long gone. So time to get back to getting going. I don't know, but either way it goes. I spent most of my day yesterday relaxing and woke up still feeling like a baby that needs to poop and their diaper's full, just looking irritated and constipated and mad. And then I was like, I gotta go take a shower. That's always the one thing that tends to help. It's like a dirty car going in the car wash and then just getting hosed down, and then it's like, I'm all sparkly, shiny, and new. It's the same with me. I don't know how it is for everyone else. But I spent a little time yesterday with a friend that they're the one that has stage 4, so automatically they're negative about life. And it's like a magnet. And I spent my time trying to get rid of all that yesterday. Did a fine job. Go outside this morning and there she is, and right back on me. And I'm like, man. And it's hard because it's hard to draw a line and say, look, I really care about you. I really wish you the best, but honestly, you're toxic right now. And of course, the bat back would be, of course I am, I'm dying. And it's not that, it's mindset. Because we're all dying. Just some people go to the doctor and they tell them that they're dying faster. Don't know. But it's a matter of feeling hopeless and wanting to give up and then being angry at everything. And someone said it the other day, she's angry at the fear. And if she just let the fear out, then she could move past the anger. And I was like, that makes sense. And it's just like me at work. I'm being pushed to speak up for myself. And I'm like, man, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to have to keep explaining. This is not my job. This is your job. And it doesn't need to be managed by me. It needs to be managed by higher ups, right? But at some point it gets to a situation where it's like, okay, nobody's managing it and they're abusing the situation. Just like we were talking earlier about the difference between a company that uses you and one that abuses you. You know, one that uses you, like her husband gets salary and works 45 hours a week instead of 40, but if things happen, like his car breaks down, he gets a loaner car or free oil changes and stuff like that. So yes, being used, but rewarded on the backside. Whereas in my situation, it's like, oh, well, she can do this. Let's teach her this. Let's teach her the whole thing. Before I know it, I'm going to be sitting at a desk and still be paid ground floor. But it's a matter of what we're being pushed to do. And I'm like, for me, it's hard. I want to see people make the right choice on their own. But that's like allowing a kid to go in a store and say, don't steal anything, there's no cameras, and if you do, there's no consequences. So, but just make the right choice, okay? That's not going to happen. If there's an opportunity to get away with something, I've come to find that most people become opportunists. Like, oh, well, shit, I mean, you ain't gonna do nothing about it, so why not? And that's kind of the situation. But I've also learned that we kind of attract in where we're comfortable being. Like, I'm used to being overworked. I'm used to being undervalued. I'm used to toxicity because of the relationship I was in. So therefore, if I'm used to that and I tolerated that, even though I walked away from that relationship, I can still be in the energy and the mindset that that's tolerable. It didn't kill me then. It's not going to kill me now. It wore me out then, and it's wearing me out now. And that, in a way, is spirit going, okay, do you notice the correlation? What are you going to do about it? I mean, you walked away from that situation after standing up for yourself, so what do you do here? Do you stand up for yourself? Do you start drawing the line? Do you start pushing and testing your value? And that's a scary concept for all of us as parents, or anyone that relies on money in this world. That would be any human being, right? I mean, we don't have things or people we can fall back on. So the responsible party has to consider all aspects of the situation. That's where it gets a little bit more tricky, because now you're like, it just phases, and all of that holding it in starts becoming toxic. It starts wearing you out. It starts stressing you out. It starts depressing you. It starts putting you in a mindset of, why me, rather than, I see what I'm supposed to do. I see how this is supposed to go. It's still hard, and it's still scary. And it's funny because when we're in relationships with people that tick us off, it's like, oh, I can tell you off left and right. I don't care. And you could even share expenses in a house and be like, I don't care. I'm going to say what I got to say. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. But when it comes to standing up for ourselves in a different manner, to where the respect is necessary in order to survive in that environment and to thrive and have a chance to grow and build and do more, right? Why is it we bite our tongue? What are we so afraid of when we talk with one human compared to another? Is it the concept that they hold false sense of power? Or is it the idea that we believe we actually get set free in another way? You know, you talk to the relationship status and you retain some of your power and your freedom. You talk to a boss and they might demote you, degrade you, fire you, whatever it is. Either way it goes, things happen in a moment. Those moments are coming. You can always feel a certain energy in the air. And I don't know if everybody can feel that, but it's even like this storm blew in last night. I'm talking wind, heavy rain, just, it reminded me of a storm that happened about 2 years ago. And then I met somebody the next day, and I thought I had met the one. Did not know it was going to be the one that was going to teach me some more lessons. So be it. That's what happens. But the change is in the air. And there's also a full moon coming. So just a warning for you. The channel's about to change. Whatever you're used to right now is going to evolve, grow, implode, change. Just prepare yourself for it. Because when things happen on this planet, it doesn't only happen to one person, and it doesn't only happen to those that feel it. Just some people are more capable of sensing. It's like animals. If you watch animals, they can tell you a storm is coming and that you need to seek shelter when it's miles and miles and miles away. There's animals that will let you know a tsunami is about to hit the shore before you ever even see it on the ocean, because they feel the land. There's lots of things that we as humans have tapped out of, that our animal brothers and sisters let us know, like, hey, you're in danger. Even your pets, if you pay attention. I was going off the other night about certain things. I wasn't even screaming or anything. I was just in a moment. I had tuned in. This is what I would do if blah, blah, blah. And dogs start barking. And my neighbor just looked at me and goes, you have all the dogs barking. Because there was that much intensity in what I felt. And I was like, oh, if I were yelling, you would hear it all around. Even the coyotes would be howling at this point. But I had to draw back in and say, okay, now is not the time. Because we also have to remind ourselves timing is everything. You don't go, I had to learn as a kid, you don't go to your parents and ask, hey, can I have $20 and go to the movies when they're upset about money and they've had a bad day. You don't do that. Mm-mm. You have to assess the situation and find the perfect time to come and ask your question to get an 80% chance yes. It's funny, we learn to be calculated when we're young based off of people's behaviors. You know, it's when you want to see change. You can't go to somebody that's angry and try to talk to them about something that's going to make them feel small or something that's going to make them even more angry. Now you've just added fuel to their fire. Some people are angry all the time. Those are people you don't really want to keep dealing with. But that's where I'm talking about. You have to create space for yourself because you have to be able to readjust that which is in you to turn around and say, okay, I can present myself better to the world if I can get all this off of me that doesn't really, it's not mine. Take it back. We got to learn to give it back. And I'm not talking about retaliate. I'm talking about learn to, you gave me this and this is yours. You can have it. I don't want it. No matter how it works, right? It's not everything is acceptable in our life. But yet a lot of us learn to accept and just keep moving on. You know, my mom keeps telling me I have to stand up for myself. I have to demand certain things. And it's funny because to me this is a generational curse that is on my shoulders. Because she even said the other day, well, I don't speak up because I retire in 3 years, but you still have at least 25 years. Hate to tell you, Mom, I don't have 25 years. I'm not doing it. I quit. I'm done. I ain't doing it. But it's funny. We can allow it in our lives and go, I'm going to let that one take care of it. But sometimes that's what we're born to do. Some of us are chosen to be the generational curse breakers. The ones that say, no, I'm not going to tolerate a shitty relationship just so I'm not alone. No, I'm not going to stay in that situation because it's easier to juggle the bills. Or I can have a nicer house or a nicer car or whatever it is. No, I'm not going to stand up at work because I just don't want to upset the system. Thing is, I've always been a rebel. I've always been the mouth. I've always been the one that is like, you want to go? You want to go? Hold me back, girl. Hold me back. She get mad. You better watch yourself because she going to come at you. I can't hold her back forever. Like, this has been me my whole life. Me just pulling on me going, I would suggest you shoo. Because if I let loose, you don't know what's coming at you. I even told my friend the other night, I don't carry weapons. I don't need weapons. This thing is freaking dangerous. And that's what got me off on the rant I went off on, and the dogs started just going off all around the place. And I'm talking way away. They weren't even where we're at. So you have to be careful of who you're antagonizing. It is a definite, you have to create space for yourself. Because if you don't, you get bubbling. That feeling does not go away unless you do something. You know, go to the gym, punch a punching bag, do some push-ups, take a run, listen to music, dance, sing, whatever it is. Sometimes even the dishes help. Just zoning out. Wax on, wax off. And trying to not focus on the problem. And in this current situation, for me, it's difficult because the problem is I need space. And the problem is everyone's in my space. Everyone's like, damn, she's a good worker. Let me just work her to death. And the whole time I'm going, about to bite it off. And once I bite it off, I tried to hold it back. And I tried to warn you. I tried to show you nicely a couple of times. And we all need to have that part of us. I give you a warning, just as a parent gives a child a warning. I already told you. Don't make me tell you again. Okay, we're done. I'm not talking anymore. Not talking anymore. Right? And we have to get to that point where we allow ourselves to stand up for ourselves in that sense, because nobody else is going to do it. It's not like I can go outside and say, everybody off the porch, I need space. But what I can do is say, you know what? You all have fun. I'm going to go in my room. Or I'm going to go in my house. I've got to go do this. And I have made excuses because I don't want to belittle people. I don't want to tear them down. I don't want them to feel bad about who they are. It's not them that's affecting me. It's what I'm having to acknowledge in my life that is being put in my face. And if you feel right now that things are being put in your face, pay attention to it. Because you will notice it from multiple people in a day. When you see it from multiple situations, not just people, but events that occur in your day, if it brings on the same feeling and you're like, ugh, don't ask yourself why. Ask yourself what. Don't be the victim. Why is this happening? Instead, be the student. What is this trying to tell me? Because a victim isn't going to necessarily learn. They're going to feel traumatized. They're going to feel stuck. They're going to feel trapped. But as a student, hey, you have a chance to elevate. You have a chance to overcome something that you couldn't figure out. But you have to get out of the victim mentality in order to see the reality of what you're being guided to do. At this point, I feel like I'm only speaking to myself because this is what I'm going through right now. I've lived in victim mentality for so long that now it's like, okay, she has been helped. She has been taken care of. She has been empowered. She has been given lessons that allowed her to go from, I don't know, I just am feeling so overwhelmed. Heart would pound, temples would throb, and just want to lay down and not get up. Didn't want to care anymore. But now I've had to progress into, okay, put the armor on the victim, and the victim becomes closer to a warrior. Saying, no, we did that. I learned that lesson. And the funny thing is, the same lesson is being taught. It's just no longer a spouse, it's a boss. Just remember that you're valuable. That jobs are everywhere. That you have creativity inside of you that can set you free. You can become your own boss. It's just having to learn to reinvest that time that we spend to decompress, to use it wisely. I've had to make a few changes in my life very recently and say, okay, everything that I was doing is stalling me. I'm just sitting. I'm just wasting time. I'm looking at, we're about to get into April, January, February, March, April. We don't have much left to say, I made a difference this year. And it's funny because this is the year I did not eat my lucky black-eyed peas and ham and cabbage. I did not make any resolutions. I just said, you know what? Time to refocus my mindset. This year is a year that is meant to allow for growth. This year is a year that is meant to give me the opportunity for me to remove my shackles and say, I don't work for you. You're not going to talk to me like that. And even as a matter of fact, I may work for you, but I'm a human being and you will not speak to me like that. I don't disrespect you. You don't disrespect me. That's how this works. We have to teach people what we're willing to accept. The hardest part is being a teacher when you're still a student. But in this world, we're all students, teachers, everything. You have to put on different hats all the time within a day. You can be more than one. But that's the thing. It is your life, your stage. What character do you entertain today? Or in the hour, who is it you're meant to be? Because you can dance through life, or you can feel so cramped because you have no space. But no matter how it goes, this is where everything resides. And this right here is mainly the filter of what we allow to affect this. And it's the same with this. What you see and what you hear is going to affect your mental mindset. Be careful of what you're feeding your spirit. I think that was probably long enough. I'm going to just stop rambling because I could go on for a long, long time. There was a mixture of a while and long. But on that note, bye-bye.